Hey, welcome sports fans. Charles E. Smith Jr. here. This is an Inside Sports production. I'm not going to be running the show today. I will not. I'm going to be, well, not an observer, but I'll be a part of the process. Let me introduce to you Mr. Tony Lee of One and Only Sports. You know, I don't think I could do you justice with my introduction, so there's the fans, there's the camera. It's all you, dog.
All right. Hey, hello, it's Tony the One and Only. Now, you guys can follow me on Twitter. It's the number One and Only Sports. So follow me on Twitter. This show, as always, is going to be hot because I have the enforcer here, Mr. Black Ice, the enforcer, and we're going to, you know, no more PC. Back in the days when Charles and I met in the early years, we tiptoed around the subjects. Now we're going to bring the absolute heat.
Yeah, and you know, from all that tiptoeing, I got some corns and bunions.
I got a lot of blisters and stepped on a lot of glass myself.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. I know you're ready. So the first thing we want to talk about, we're going to kind of push it back, but I want to get into the sweet science of boxing. Pacquiao, Mayweather, It's almost like ice cream cake, peanut butter or jelly, bagels, or with cream cheese, or toasted with butter. Who do you want?
Cornflake with milk.
Cornflake with milk, or with tofu water, whatever they call that stuff. So
Bradshaw and Swan.
Well, we know it's Staubach and Pearson, so we know that.
Oh yeah, the guy who's in the Hall of Fame and the guy who isn't.
Staubach is in the Hall of Fame. Yes,
yeah, I know
he is.
But Drew Pearson isn't.
If he isn't, he will be. Don't worry about that. He will be.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about who is if this fight is going to happen, and Charles, do you really feel that this fight can happen? Will it take place? What's holding up? Because we got insider information about promoters, Filipino TV. I need to know what the deal is, and I have a strong opinion on why this fight is not happening. So I want to hear your take first.
Well, okay, there could be a couple of reasons. I think what it comes down to is this right here. You know, the mean green.
Well, whose money?
The kale.
Whose money, though?
I think all the money, the collective money of the United States and wherever it's going to be broadcast, if it's a worldwide thing, comes down to that money. Who gets what? How do you do the split? The promoters want this. Pac-Man wants this. Mayweather wants this. Everybody wants something. So it's almost like when the NFL was in that little lockout situation when you're trying to decide how to divide this multi-billion-dollar pie.
Well,
that's what it's coming
greedy.
Down to in boxing.
Somebody's greedy.
Well, Floyd's going to jail on June 1st.
Well, the thing about
so we got to figure that out too.
In this situation, you have to find out who's greedy, because with this amount of money, you can sift out who is the one that's the problem child.
Here's the problem. Is that you got the guys who are greedy by nature, then you got the guys who are greedy on principle. So it's like this. You and I, we're about to do a deal, and the deal is going to be worth $100 million.
Okay.
Okay? Neither of us have really made that kind of money before.
And we never will. This is a fight that we never will.
Probably not. Okay. So it's me against the one and only.
Okay.
There's $100 million to be split.
Okay.
If you tell me my cut is $30 million for that 45 minutes worth of work and the 6 weeks of training I'm going to do to get there, that's a fair enough cut no matter what. But I can stand on principles and say, hey, you know, that's not even a third of that whole pie. So there's not anything I could do with $45 million that I can't do with $30 million, but I'm going to hold out anyways.
Well, what about
say that's not fair? Right, and then there's all the middlemen.
Well, what about the promoters
have to get?
Because they're trying to stack it up. The promoters have, and that's where that's where the problem is. The promoter, because Bob Arum is Pacquiao's promoter. Floyd is Oscar and self-promoted. So basically, Oscar is the new era of promoter. Bob Arum is the old school. I control you. You can't go anywhere without me.
Remember, De La Hoya came up under Arum, too.
He came up.
So he learned a few things.
He learned some things, but he's lost a few things because Arum promoted Muhammad Ali. Keep that in mind. He was Muhammad Ali's promoter, and Don King was his rival. The day of the promoter controlling everything is over because we live in an age in boxing. Once Bob Arum is gone from this sport, whether it's dead or retired or whatever the case may be, this sport will skyrocket to success.
So you think the problem was Bob Arum, not Don King?
Yes, I agree. Don King made more.
Is that what you're saying? I'm just asking hypothetically.
Yes, absolutely. Because Bob Arum wants to control, because he wants to be the guy that says, I control all of the money. Don King just wants to keep making money. Bob Arum wants to control the money. And you can mark my words. When this fight happened, there hasn't been any anticipation like since Ali versus Frazier 1 and 3. So this fight will be a trilogy when they fight. However...
Well, they're not getting any younger. That's one problem.
And it's going to define their legacy.
And you got to wonder, because I remember Felix Trinidad pulled this same thing with Pernell Whitaker. Put it off, put it off, put it off. And then once it's 3 years down the road, when Sweet Pea has been, smoking this and that for so much time, and he's a shot fighter.
Allegedly.
And he's a shot fighter. Then he takes the fight and he beats him. Everybody knows that Whitaker would have dusted Trinidad had they fought when Whitaker was still in his prime. He knew that. He kept ducking and dodging and this, that, and the other thing. Then once the guy is way past his prime, okay, well now let's fight.
Well, it's the same thing with Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. Sugar Ray fought an old Hagler. He fought a used-up Hagler.
An old Hagler?
Yeah. That's an old Hagler.
You mean an old Marvin or an old Hagler?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Think about it. Old Hagler, not so marvelous Marvin. I mean, think about it. Sugar Ray retired about 5 times. He all of a sudden, then he catches him right when he needed to catch him, and then really Hagler won that.
Well, when you have
Hagler won
not,
that.
and I knew
He
I watched
won
that
that
fight. I watched that fight, and I knew. I knew. As soon as it was over, I said, whoever whoever wins this fight or whoever loses this fight, the loser is going to feel they got cheated out of it
forever.
Right,
because there wasn't going to be.
And the Hagler fans all think that Hagler won the fight.
So you
Leonard
think
fans
that
say
we're going to
justice
have a Hagler? Do you think it's going to be a one? Okay, it's a great question.
Yeah.
If they fight, is it going to be a one and done, or is it going to be a trilogy?
I don't know if it's a trilogy. I think we could get 2 out of it.
I think 3, or actually, I think 3 or one and done.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Because it's.
I mean, we can always go for Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez 4.
And what do we gain by that? Just robbing us of more money. So, in picking this fight, let's say they fight. Let's just say they fight. Because on the record, you and I have never spoke on this.
We have not. Never.
Who do you pick in this fight? Who do you got?
I got Pac-Man.
And I have Money Mayweather. There is no way.
I have got Pac-Man.
There is no, absolutely
you know what? Here's
way.
the problem. Here's the underlying thing nobody talks about. Floyd Mayweather, he's a great fighter. I'm not going to take that away from him. He is a great fighter.
He's the best.
He's one of the great of this era of fighters.
Absolutely.
However, Pac-Man is going to come at him like no one ever has, and I think Floyd doesn't want to take that ass whooping. That's what it comes down to.
I don't think that Pacquiao has never fought. Pacquiao has never fought anybody as fast and as talented, or actually more talented than he is. Pacquiao can take a punch. That's the problem. He can take a punch. Floyd is just going to sit back, pick his time, just stick and move, stick and move, stick and move, and then what's going to happen? He's going to outpoint him. Nobody's getting knocked out in this fight because the shot that Mayweather took from Sugar Shane Mosley would have knocked out 20 men, and he stood up and he took that. So I think his chin is tested. I just don't think Pacquiao wins this fight. I think he loses on style, and then they're going to have another fight.
And a rematch in 6 months.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. We'll see.
I think that's the bottom line to that fight. So now
and no matter how much they make, remember the public's going to get jacked for $60 if they want to watch it. Watch it live anyways.
Expect to pay $100. This will be the highest priced pay-per-view in history. $60 is not going to cut it. Would you pay $100?
No.
I would.
On principle, I will not pay to watch a fight. I won't.
In principle,
I get to see the Super Bowl for free, the World Series.
That's cheap. You're being cheap.
I get to see the
Stanley Cup for free. I get to see the Masters.
I get to see Wimbledon. I get to see the U.S. Open.
This could be a one-time event.
That's right, and it'll be on the next week too.
No. So you're saying you would not pay $100 to see possibly the greatest fight in the last 40 years?
On principle. I cannot do it.
That's ridiculous. You'll do it.
Unless if it's a bunch of homies. If it's a bunch of homies getting together, and we all want to chip in, and maybe come over to, say, Anthony's house and watch the fight,
absolutely,
that's one thing.
Okay, he's going to pay.
I'll be here with a six-pack and $15 to pay for my share. So you're going to watch that in one of the
So you're going to slide into somebody's house and do it. You're not going to be the one that ponies up the ducats.
What are you trying to say?
So you're saying you're too cheap.
You trying to cast me in a negative light here?
Yes.
What about the UNITY, my brother? What about that? What about the UNITY?
Oxymoron. Black unity is an oxymoron. You heard it from me.
UNITY.
Oxymoron. Black unity is an oxymoron. You heard it from me.